Imagine standing at the edge of the Dead Sea, a place renowned for its desolation and lifeless waters, only to witness something miraculous and unexpected: the glint of fish swimming near the shoreline and patches of vibrant green vegetation sprouting in the once barren salt flats. For centuries, the Dead Sea has been a symbol of death and desolation, a place where nothing could survive due to its extreme salinity. Yet, recent reports and eyewitness accounts suggest that something extraordinary is happening here, something that many believe could be the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. This revelation has sent shockwaves throughout the Christian world, igniting conversations about what this means for the future, and whether these signs are part of a divine narrative unfolding in real time. The Dead Sea is no ordinary body of water. Located at the lowest point on Earth, approximately 430 meters below sea level, it has long fascinated travelers, scientists, and spiritual seekers alike. Its waters are 10 times saltier than the ocean, making it inhospitable to most forms of life. The thick, mineral-rich water has a density so high that people effortlessly float on its surface, experiencing a sensation unlike any other place in the world. The stark landscape, with its towering salt formations and bleached driftwood, gives an almost otherworldly feel. This is a place where the boundaries between land and water blur, where the horizon stretches into a mirage-like shimmer under the relentless sun. For years, the Dead Sea was a symbol of permanence, a place frozen in time and thought to be unchangeable. However, nature is unpredictable, and this ancient lake is proving that it is not as lifeless as once believed. Sinkholes have become a prominent feature of the Dead Sea's changing landscape, an unintended consequence of its rapid shrinkage. Over the past few decades, the water level has been receding at an alarming rate, dropping by more than a meter each year. The cause? A combination of climate change, diversion of freshwater sources, and mineral extraction projects. As the salty waters retreat, fresh water from underground springs seeps into the exposed salt deposits. This interaction between fresh and saline waters dissolves the salt layers, creating large cavities that eventually collapse into sinkholes. From above, these sinkholes appear as dark, gaping voids, or, conversely, as shimmering blue-green pools, depending on whether they have filled with water. The implications of these sinkholes are twofold. On one hand, they pose a significant threat to the local economy. The Dead Sea region has long been a popular destination for tourists seeking the therapeutic benefits of its mineral-rich waters and mud. However, the unpredictability of sinkhole formation has made the area dangerous for construction and development, leading to road closures and abandoned projects. Local businesses and communities are feeling the economic strain as the once booming tourism industry faces growing uncertainty. On the other hand, the sinkholes have also become unexpected sources of natural beauty. Some have filled with fresh water, creating miniature oases with vibrant hues of turquoise and sapphire. Astonishingly, life has begun to emerge in these new environments, with reeds and other vegetation taking root along the water's edge. Even more surprising are the reports of small fish appearing in these pools, an occurrence that has puzzled scientists and left many Christians wondering if these changes signify something much greater. In recent years, the appearance of life in the Dead Sea's sinkholes has become a focal point for believers who see a direct connection to ancient prophecies. The Bible, particularly in the books of Zechariah and Ezekiel, contains passages that speak of waters flowing into the Dead Sea and transforming it into a place teeming with life. For centuries, These prophecies were viewed metaphorically or as descriptions of a distant, miraculous future. Yet now, as freshwater springs emerge and fish are spotted in the very waters that were once considered toxic, many are reconsidering these ancient texts. Could this be a literal fulfillment of prophecy happening before our eyes? To understand the full impact of these developments, it's important to grasp the unique geological and environmental conditions of the Dead Sea. Unlike typical lakes, the Dead Sea has no natural outlets. Water flows into it primarily from the Jordan River. But due to high evaporation rates in the hot, arid climate, most of the water evaporates, leaving behind vast amounts of salt and minerals. This process, known as endorheic, has been occurring for thousands of years, resulting in the incredibly high salinity that defines the Dead Sea today. Historically, this salinity has made the lake an inhospitable environment for aquatic life. The only organisms able to survive are certain types of extremophilic bacteria and microorganisms, adapted to thrive in the hypersaline conditions. Yet the formation of sinkholes and the influx of freshwater appear to be altering this delicate balance. The unexpected emergence of life in this harsh environment has sparked a wave of speculation and excitement among religious communities, especially Christians who are familiar with the biblical references to the Dead Sea. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet describes a vision of a river flowing from the temple in Jerusalem, its waters healing the land and bringing life to the Dead Sea. Fish of many kinds are mentioned, as well as fruit trees whose leaves never wither and whose fruit serves as food and medicine. For many, the sight of fish swimming in the sinkholes near the Dead Sea feels like a direct manifestation of this vision, a tangible sign of divine intervention. It's as if the dry bones of the Dead Sea, long a symbol of death and decay, are beginning to come alive again. These changes are more than just a geological curiosity. They represent a profound shift in the way we understand this ancient landscape. Scientists have been conducting expeditions to study the sinkholes and the organisms within them, eager to understand how life is managing to take hold in such extreme conditions. The discovery of microbial mats and freshwater springs beneath the Dead Sea has provided new insights into its complex ecosystem. Some researchers suggest that these findings could point to a larger, previously unknown underground water system feeding into the Dead Sea, potentially explaining the sudden bursts of life in areas where none was expected. Yet, for believers, the scientific explanations do not diminish the spiritual significance of what is happening. Instead, they view these developments as a convergence of faith and science, a moment where the physical world aligns with the spiritual promises made in Scripture. It's a reminder that the earth itself can bear witness to the divine, revealing truths that have been hidden for millennia. The Dead Sea, once thought to be the end point of all life, is now becoming a symbol of hope and renewal. For centuries, the Dead Sea has been enveloped in a shroud of mystery, with its harsh environment symbolizing death and desolation. Yet, for those familiar with biblical scripture, the transformation we are witnessing now is nothing short of extraordinary. Throughout the Bible, particularly in the prophetic books, there are intriguing passages that hint at a future where life would return to this barren place. These ancient prophecies, once considered purely metaphorical or symbolic, now seem to align with the surprising changes occurring at the Dead Sea. In the books of Ezekiel and Zechariah, detailed visions describe a rejuvenated land, with life flourishing where there was once nothing but salt and sand. Could these recent developments be the long-awaited fulfillment of these prophecies? Zechariah, a prophet writing during the time of Israel's return from Babylonian exile, spoke of a day when the Lord would stand upon the Mount of Olives and a river of living water would flow out from Jerusalem. This water, he proclaimed, would travel eastward, revitalizing the parched land and healing the seas. While many scholars have debated the meaning of this prophecy, interpreting it as a symbol of spiritual renewal, the physical changes at the Dead Sea have sparked renewed interest. The sight of freshwater springs emerging in the area and of vegetation beginning to sprout along the water's edge seems eerily consistent with the description of life returning to a place long devoid of it. For believers, this is not merely a coincidence, but a tangible sign of divine orchestration. The book of Ezekiel provides an even more detailed vision, one that resonates powerfully with the current events. In Ezekiel 47, the prophet is shown a vision of a temple from which a river flows. Initially shallow, the river deepens as it travels eastward, eventually becoming a mighty stream that pours into the Dead Sea. As the waters mix, the prophet describes a miraculous transformation. The once toxic, salty waters of the Dead Sea are healed, and fish of all kinds begin to populate it. Ezekiel mentions fishermen standing along the shores, casting their nets and catching great quantities of fish, something that would have been unimaginable in his time, given the Dead Sea's inhospitable nature. The vision goes on to describe trees growing along the banks of the river, their leaves never withering, and their fruit providing sustenance and healing. This imagery of renewal and abundance has inspired hope and wonder for generations. But it's only now, with the emergence of life in the Dead Sea, that people are beginning to consider the possibility of a literal fulfillment. While these biblical prophecies have sparked hope and speculation among believers, they have also caught the attention of the scientific community. In 2011, a team of researchers embarked on a groundbreaking expedition to the depths of the Dead Sea, seeking to unlock the mysteries of this enigmatic body of water. What they discovered was astonishing. Not only did they find evidence of freshwater sources bubbling up from beneath the seafloor, but they also observed extensive microbial mats thriving in the hypersaline environment. These mats, formed by colonies of extremophilic microorganisms, seemed to defy the conventional wisdom that the Dead Sea was entirely devoid of life. The freshwater springs, in particular, were a revelation. Previously unknown, these underwater sources appear to be introducing nutrients and oxygen into the Dead Sea's ecosystem, creating microenvironments where life can flourish. This discovery has led scientists to reevaluate their understanding of the Dead Sea's biology and geology. The presence of these springs may indicate a larger, interconnected network of underground water sources, challenging long-held beliefs about the region's hydrology. As researchers continue to study these springs, they are beginning to uncover a dynamic, complex ecosystem existing beneath the surface, one that may hold the key to understanding the recent emergence of life in the area. The scientific findings have ignited a dialogue between faith and science, as researchers and believers alike grapple with the implications of what they are witnessing. For many Christians, the scientific explanations do not diminish the spiritual significance of these events, but rather enhance it. The discovery of freshwater sources and microbial life aligns with the descriptions found in the Bible, lending a sense of credibility and urgency to the prophetic texts. It's as if nature itself is bearing witness to the words of the ancient prophets, confirming their visions in ways that could not have been imagined even a few decades ago. The Dead Sea, long considered a lifeless void, is now seen as a testament to the mysteries of creation and the possibility of divine intervention. Amidst the scientific explorations and theological debates, the story of Samantha Siegel offers a personal and emotional perspective on the changes at the Dead Sea. Samantha, a local resident and avid explorer, had grown up visiting the Dead Sea with her family, enjoying its peculiar buoyancy and the therapeutic qualities of its mineral-rich mud. She had always viewed the Dead Sea as an unchanging fixture, a place where the stark, lifeless landscape seemed eternal. However, one summer afternoon, while exploring a newly formed sinkhole, she stumbled upon something that would challenge her entire perception of the region. Small, darting fish swimming in the clear blue waters of the sinkhole. Overwhelmed by what she was seeing, Samantha could hardly believe her eyes. She knew, like most locals, that fish could not survive in the hypersaline waters of the Dead Sea. Yet here they were, tiny flashes of silver glinting beneath the surface. As she knelt by the edge of the sinkhole, watching the fish swim, she felt a profound sense of wonder and awe. It was as if she had been granted a glimpse into something sacred, a sign that the impossible was becoming possible right before her eyes. In her testimony, Samantha speaks of the deep spiritual impact this moment had on her. For her, the fish represented a powerful symbol of God's grace and the promise of renewal, even in the most desolate and barren places. Samantha's experience has resonated with many who have heard her story, serving as a poignant reminder of the unexpected ways in which faith and the natural world can intersect. Her discovery of fish in the Dead Sea has become a powerful metaphor for resilience and hope, illustrating how God's presence can bring life and light to even the darkest corners of the earth. The Dead Sea, often seen as a symbol of death and finality, is now being reinterpreted as a place of potential and transformation. In the same way that the salty waters buoy those who swim in it, lifting them effortlessly to the surface, the changes occurring in the region are seen as a sign of divine uplift. God's way of showing that even the most hopeless situations can be turned into opportunities for growth and renewal. This symbolic interpretation of the Dead Sea's transformation has inspired people around the world to reflect on their own lives and circumstances. Just as the waters of the Dead Sea are slowly being infused with new sources of life, so too can our hearts and spirits be refreshed by the presence of God's love. The emergence of fish and vegetation in a place once thought to be barren serves as a reminder that no situation is beyond the reach of divine restoration. For many, it is a call to look beyond the surface, to have faith in the unseen forces at work, and to trust in the promise of renewal and redemption. The story of the Dead Sea, both ancient and modern, continues to unfold, inviting us all to witness the incredible possibilities of faith, nature, and the transformative power of hope. The Dead Sea has always been a source of fascination for travelers and explorers. Its allure goes beyond its unique physical properties. It's a place steeped in history and mystery, attracting visitors from around the world. Tourists flock to this ancient body of water for a chance to experience something truly extraordinary. Floating in the Dead Sea is unlike any sensation found elsewhere. The water's salinity, which can exceed 30%, makes it impossible to sink. Visitors enter the water cautiously, surprised by the buoyant lift that supports their bodies effortlessly, allowing them to lie back and float without any effort. The sensation is one of relaxation and wonder, as if the waters themselves are carrying you, suspended between earth and sky. The experience is so distinct that it leaves a lasting impression on everyone who comes here. Beyond the novelty of floating, the therapeutic properties of the Dead Sea are another major draw. The thick, black mud found along its shores is rich in minerals such as magnesium, potassium, and bromine. These minerals have been praised for their healing qualities for centuries, with ancient records indicating that even King Herod the Great sought the mud's restorative effects. Today, visitors eagerly slather themselves in this dark, mineral-laden substance, believing it to help with skin conditions, joint pain, and overall wellness. The sight of people covered head to toe in the black mud, standing against the backdrop of the shimmering blue water and the arid hills of Judea, creates a surreal, almost otherworldly scene. Yet the appeal of the Dead Sea goes far beyond its modern-day tourist attractions. This region has been a witness to thousands of years of history, holding a significant place in the cultural and spiritual heritage of the Middle East. The historian Josephus wrote extensively about the Dead Sea during the Jewish revolt against the Romans, describing it as a place of refuge and a marvel of nature. The ancient Romans, fascinated by its unique properties, called it Palus Asphaltites because of the floating asphalt blocks found on its surface, a byproduct of its unique chemical composition. Historical texts recount how the Nabateans and later the Egyptians harvested bitumen from the Dead Sea, using it for mummification and as a valuable trade commodity. These historical references connect the Dead Sea to some of the most pivotal moments in ancient history. The region is also associated with the infamous cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, whose destruction is detailed in the Bible as an act of divine judgment. The salty, barren landscape is often interpreted as a remnant of this cataclysmic event, a visual representation of the consequences of sin and divine retribution. For thousands of years, the Dead Sea has served as both a literal and metaphorical reminder of the past, a place where biblical narratives intersect with the natural world. In light of these profound historical and cultural associations, the recent transformation of the Dead Sea has taken on a powerful symbolic meaning. The changes happening in the area, freshwater springs, the appearance of vegetation, and even sightings of fish, are not just surprising anomalies, but are seen by many as signs of a deeper spiritual renewal. This concept of prophetic renewal is rooted in the Bible, where numerous passages describe a time of restoration and revival. One of the most vivid images of this renewal is found in the book of Isaiah, where the prophet speaks of a desert blooming with life and streams flowing in desolate places. For those who see the changes at the Dead Sea through a spiritual lens, it's as if these ancient promises are beginning to manifest in the physical world, offering a glimpse of what might be a divine plan unfolding. The notion of prophetic renewal is closely tied to the idea of the millennial kingdom, a time of peace and restoration described in the Bible. In this vision of the future, the world is transformed into a place of abundance and harmony, where even the most barren and desolate areas are renewed. The Dead Sea, with its history of desolation, would be a powerful symbol of this transformation. The emergence of life here is seen by some as a foreshadowing of the millennial kingdom, a sign that the earth itself is preparing for a time of great change. This connection between prophecy and the physical changes at the Dead Sea has stirred excitement and hope among believers, who view it as a tangible indication of God's promise to renew the world. Ezekiel's prophecy offers perhaps the most direct and detailed vision of the changes now unfolding at the Dead Sea. In the 47th chapter of his book, Ezekiel describes a vision of a temple from which a river of life flows, traveling eastward through the desert and emptying into the Dead Sea. As this water flows, it brings life and healing, transforming the salty, dead waters into a thriving habitat filled with fish. The vision depicts fishermen standing along the shore, casting their nets and catching fish of many kinds as abundant as those found in the Mediterranean. This imagery is striking, especially when considered alongside the recent sightings of fish in the Dead Sea's sinkholes. It's as if the vision is leaping off the pages of Scripture and manifesting in real time, leaving believers in awe of the apparent fulfillment of an ancient promise. The symbolism of Ezekiel's vision goes beyond the physical transformation of the land. It is a profound metaphor for spiritual renewal and the power of divine intervention. Just as the river brings life to the Dead Sea, so too does the presence of God bring life and healing to the spiritual desolation of humanity. The Dead Sea's transformation serves as a powerful reminder that even the most hopeless situations can be redeemed through faith. For many Christians, the recent changes are seen as a sign that we are entering a new era, one where the prophecies of old are beginning to come to fruition, and the world is being prepared for a greater revelation of God's plan. In modern times, the implications of these events are vast, extending beyond the spiritual interpretations to touch on the cultural and geopolitical landscape of the region. Israel, the nation that borders the Dead Sea, has experienced significant economic growth and development in recent years. The country's advancements in technology, agriculture, and water management are seen by some as a parallel to the renewal described in the Bible. Just as the Dead Sea is showing signs of new life, so too is the nation of Israel experiencing a kind of renaissance, both economically and spiritually. This connection has fueled a sense of optimism among those who see these developments as intertwined, part of a broader narrative of hope and renewal. Yet, the changes at the Dead Sea are not just a local phenomenon. They carry a message with global implications. The theme of renewal resonates deeply in a world that is grappling with environmental degradation, conflict, and a sense of spiritual emptiness. The idea that life can emerge in the most unexpected and seemingly hopeless places offers a message of hope that transcends religious boundaries. It suggests that just as the Dead Sea is being revived, so too can humanity find new life and purpose, even in the face of overwhelming challenges. The transformation of the Dead Sea invites us to reflect on our own lives and the state of the world around us. It serves as a powerful metaphor for the process of spiritual rejuvenation, a reminder that no matter how desolate our circumstances may seem, there is always the possibility of renewal and growth. The changes we are witnessing are a call to action, urging us to open our hearts and minds to the idea of divine restoration, to look for signs of hope in the most unlikely places, and to believe in the power of faith to bring about real and lasting change. As we stand at the edge of the Dead Sea and witness its remarkable transformation, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of nature, prophecy, and human experience. The story of the Dead Sea is not just a geological or historical tale. It is a living parable, a testament to the enduring power of hope and the promise of renewal. In a world that often feels burdened by strife and uncertainty, the Dead Sea's transformation offers a glimpse of what is possible when we hold on to faith and remain open to the miracles that surround us. It is a call to believe in a future where life, against all odds, triumphs over desolation.